the GenAI cost, infrastructure cost, Bedrock GPUs, AWS has Inferentia chips. Depending on the workload, depending on the model, it can be cheaper than GPUs, or it can be faster, not all the time, but it is a good assessment to make here. Your compute, your Lambda, your EKS, your ECS, where does this come from? What is additional services, auxiliary services that you need to do in order to be able to integrate your workload? Your networking, don't forget, Rupal mentioned it, data transfers. You're going from a region to another, one zone to another. What is that data transfers and your data? You need to make data manipulations. You're going to be using probably S3, Athena, Glue, maybe just RDS or Redshift, OpenSearch for embeddings. You need to consider all of these into the calculation, okay? So just giving you some insight into what infrastructure costs. For that, I took a look at this, took a look at some use cases, and then I'm like, okay, how much will it cost? For 1,000 documents, if I'm going through retrieval of this, it's going to cost me around $2.67. That's not bad to process 1,000 documents. The generation of 3,000 images, on average, let's say $10. So how much is this going to cost is fairly straightforward. But the audio is the one that is a lot more expensive. And this is because the models in the audio side of things are still being developed. There is not a lot of choices out there. You need really good quality for them. So that's why it becomes a little bit more expensive to process the audio files. So in this case, there are some techniques and some strategies that we can help you with to be able to bring the cost down on this. But let's close this up. I think we have talked a lot. This has been a lot of great information throughout here. Let's talk about best practices. Rupal, I think you will explain it better than me on this one.
Definitely. Sure. So we'll just look at first is the format of the files that we have and how the storage is. So if it is a JSON file, it's going to be, say, 1,000 gigabyte in a storage. And then if you're using Parquet instead, say you're compressing it to 130 gigabyte, and you're saving like 87% right over there just by compressing your file. And by looking at the storage cost, you're spending, say, $23 for 1,000 gigabyte in JSON. You're using only $2.99, $3. So again, 87% in savings in storage cost as well. And again, if you're looking at scanning the data, if per query, if you're doing JSON scanning, 1 TB, it's going to be much more expensive compared to you're doing the Parquet file. And the query cost, again, you're saving like 99%, 99.8% over there. And the runtime is much shorter.